And as they say on showbiz, let the show begin. Good evening and welcome to the best show on a Friday night. This is Trendz Love on SABC News Channel 404 and I'm your host, Tisetso Masike. Now, if you're joining us for the very first time, where have you been? This is the show that brings you the best of lifestyle, travel and live performances. Now, we are still celebrating Africa Month. Now, do interact with us on Twitter using our handle at Trendz on SABC. Now, if you love the Western movies and the characters that play in those films, then the American Wild West village in Krugersdorp, west of Johannesburg, is the place to be at. Here you'll be taken down memory lane to a time where cowboys, gunslingers and bounty hunters were found in every small American town, mostly terrorizing residents. Now, Trendz Love producer Kiadimile Mwalusi spent the day at the Cowboy village where she explored and relived the Western cowboy lifestyle. Let's take a look.
If you like country vibes and antiques, here is the plek for you, Cowboy Town. It's a hidden gem for when you want to go back into time. But you know what? Let me not speak no further and allow Mia to tell you more about this place.
Cowboy Town is like a little Western themed town. It looks like it's from the 1800s. We're trying to completely recreate that feeling of how it was in the 1800s with cowboys. And there's so many unique stuff here. We've got antique shops, we've got handmade stuff, we've got things here that you won't find anywhere else. You can expect a very laid back atmosphere. It's not very uptight or anything. You can come here, you can just relax with your family, you can have something to eat. You can walk around, there's live music every weekend. So it's different people every single week. We try and give a platform for up-and-coming artists to share their talents with the community. So we try and give as many people as possible opportunities to promote themselves here. And so you can listen to the music, you can go to different shops. We specialize in a lot of antiques. And there's really rare things here. We get a lot of, we call them bargain hunters who come out to look for items here. And so if you really like antiques, this is really one of the places you should come and look. We've got lots of nice stuff here. It's free entrance and it would be best to visit over a weekend or a public holiday. We always have live music on weekends and then all the shops and restaurants also open.
Why do you come here every weekend?
I know, maybe the people, maybe the places, we just love the place.
What do you love most about this place?
The antiques.
What is the prize for?
So we had to dance and then he called me up and then I had to close my eyes and get a hamper and then I didn't know where the place was, so then I asked Mia and then she told me where the place was.
Oh wow.
And he was like, we dance amazing. So he said one of us go up and we went.
Wow.
Sometimes on a Sunday, my son-in-law plays here.
Okay. Yay! I can't believe it. Yeah.
Why are you guys not wearing your cowboy hats? They flew away. And why did you not run up to them?
We were trying to get on the horse.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, but how do you guys feel? How has it been so far?
Nice ambiance. It's family day, it's Mother's Day, very special moments in life. Yes.
Okay. So you guys were telling me you from Mahikeng. Did you drive all the way from Mahikeng to here?
Mafikeng is our original hometown.
Okay.
We are from Carltonville.
Yeah.
So you drove all the way from Carltonville?
Yes.
It's him, ne? Why?
No, because this is a place of gold, remember? We are all Gautengers because we all want money now. So that's why we are here. So now we are enjoying the lifestyle. We are in the bundus with the setup. Everything is nice.
This is our first time. Yes. Oh, we're loving it. It's such a nice vibe. It's cool things to see.
And I believe maybe you are having the best time of your life.
Oh, very, 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 very.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm
with.
I see you. You're having a cold drink, Mama.
Yeah,
You're having a great time.
Adult cold drink.
All right, now, TLC Animal Caregivers Charity Organization had this sport when you need to hang for 1 minute and 30 seconds to show how strong you are. Well.
Now, let us all admit it. We are all thinking of ways to stay warm at Groove. Imagine doing all the dance moves and you're getting cold. We don't want that. Now, trust Trendz Live, which is a plug for you. Our producer, Silepe Maifadi, checked out the new vibe in Hyde Park, where Joe Burgers can experience a one-of-a-kind rooftop distillery pop-up and get a chance to learn more about the heritage and the culture of whiskey as we gear up to the annual World Whiskey Day celebration. That's happening tomorrow on the 20th of May.
Hey Trenders, we're in the heart of Johannesburg in Hyde Park Corner, and there's something new here. It's a whole pop-up situation of a rooftop distillery, and of course we wanted to know everything about all things whiskey, and that's what this whole event is all about, and it's going to be here for a couple of days. I'm here with someone who knows how to do the right things, the mixing, the mastering, getting everything right. That is Joe Human. How you doing?
I'm alright, how are you?
I'm well, thank you. Tell us a bit about this tour and basically what this distillery is all about.
Essentially what we've done is we've brought the tour that happened in Dublin to Jersey. We've added a little bit of local flavor to it as well. So this is the Jameson Distillery tour that is pretty much all about whiskey experiences, curation. There's amazing acts, there's food, but I think the big part of it is really advocacy, really teaching you how to understand what actually goes into our #1 selling Irish whiskey from grain to glass, and that's what it's about. It's for the whiskey enthusiasts, new drinkers, or guys that have actually been drinking, women actually even, that have been drinking whiskey for a very long time.
And I mean, you had a whole breakdown of telling us about the history of where that comes from. And for a lot of reasons, a lot of times when you like a specific whiskey, you don't really think about where it comes from, how it was made and all of that. But what are those main key pillars that you know about this specific whiskey that you feel like, okay, this is what makes it different from the other whiskeys around the world?
Look, we're triple distilled, twice as smooth. Okay. We are very drinkable whiskey, also much more on the sweeter palate, and I think that's why we do quite well. But yes, it's literally about that, just sharing the differences between what other whiskeys are out there in the market as well.
On 20th of May, we're celebrating World Whiskey Day, and you've been someone who's been part of this brand for such a long time. What are those main things that you make sure that you make sure that from a class or an activation or that kind of talk that you just had, that you make sure that people leave with from that session?
Look, it's obviously enjoying our whiskey amongst like-minded people. It's all about creating like a brilliant experience for everyone that actually comes into whiskey. Like, we've thought about it from the moment you walk in. What do you see? Who do you greet? How do you say hi? Like the people that are working on the production as well. All of that is really curated to offer you the best experience.
And I mean, it's not the first time that this tour comes to South Africa. Tell us about the different stops that have been there and what else we can look forward to from this whiskey experience.
So this is our second time doing Joburg. We did Cape Town last December, and I'm hearing like a little bird say we might be doing Pretoria sometime this year. So. Yeah. But yeah, that's it.
Yeah, but in terms of trends and experiences, this is really one of a kind. How do you see the public picking this up?
The main point is to widen the circle. We're bringing people together over a beautiful glass of whiskey, cocktails, and music.
Tonight we're celebrating and doing something really different. It's a pop-up rooftop distillery. When have you ever?
I mean, listen here, I definitely needed to be here, and that's why I was like, I will not miss this for the world. Whether it's cold or not, listen here, This is where I'm going to be.
You see, this winter, it's not even a thing. Tell us about this experience.
Well, first of all, I have to say the history was amazing. Yes. I found it very interesting that, you take things for granted. Yeah. Simple thing like a bottle has a message. Yes. So I love that, and the fact that, Joe Human was fantastic. He knew exactly what he was saying. Yes. He's very informative. He loved what he does. So it was very interactive. So you could engage with him and actually learn so much more. I have to say I love the visuals as well. So that That was a stunning touch. Yeah. Yeah, you can tell they literally went all out. And of course, you know, as the song says, let the Jameson sink in. So, trust me, when we had to taste, the taste was tasting.
Woo! Okay, y'all, the taste was tasting. You already know, like I said, we are in Hyde Park. Can you imagine a whole distillery all the way from Dublin? It's out here, right here in South Africa, rooftop vibing, okay? We're chilling. It's a vibe, right?
It's already sung, darling. It's
Hello.
sung.
Now we continue to highlight the amazing stories that celebrate African talent this Africa Month, one of which is the next artist, a Zimbabwean raised in Mzansi who goes by the stage name Fakeano. Now he has been in the music industry for a couple of years and is now toying around with the concept of mixing Afrobeats with other genres. Now he's with us to tell us more about these new adventures. Sir, allow me to welcome you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much for joining us. I'm very much excited to have you in the show. Now, the African Boy trilogy, just break it down a bit for us.
So African Boy trilogy was an idea that I had, you know, during COVID to, you know, mix up my music, try other sounds, try infuse a lot of the African influences that I've had.
Yeah.
So to come out with that sound, I decided to break it up into a 3-part trilogy, which started in 2021, and now we're in 2023 with the final part, and it's all come to an end now.
Yeah. And they say all good things come to an end, right?
All good things.
But we want this one to come to an end. I think maybe we can continue a bit there.
Yeah.
And speaking of continuation, I've seen that you have dived into a diverse pool of features. Amazing at that. Can you please just unpack that for us?
Yeah, so with this part, I was just like, you know, there's a lot of people that I've worked with, there's a lot of sounds that influence what I make. So I wanted to open the whole project with giving, like, an honorary sound to Oliver Mtukudzi, the late one, because he influenced everything that I'm doing in this African Boy project. And then we also had Too Short because, I mean, if you've listened to a lot of what's happening in South Africa right now, Bastrata and all that stuff, he's got that pocket. And then my brother from Malawi named Henwood, we worked on a song together called Home, which just made us feel very nostalgic about, you know, not really being at home where we come from.
And speaking of Oliver Mtukudzi, may his soul continue to rest in peace. The tribute that you have done to him, for him, right, it was rather beautiful. We grew up singing along to his songs. We had our uncles, our grandmothers, our aunties, even during Christmas, singing along to Oliver Mtukudzi. Now tell me the inspiration for you to have this tribute for him.
Yeah, so Neria is the song that I chose, and the reason why I chose is because, like, it's such a beautiful song. Like you're saying, it's very nostalgic. We've all grown up listening to it and singing to it. But more than anything, it's the message that he had in the song. You know, how he's explaining to Neria that she should just, you know, leave everything to God because God has, you know, Neria in her hands. And I felt like it was, you know, it's a message that could apply to me as well, to be like, I should just leave everything in God's hands because he's got me.
Speaking of Neria, I'm seeing that you're also playing between Shona and English. What is the importance of language for you in your music?
I think language brings truth. You know, there's a lot of things and a lot of ways that we express ourselves in English that we're not necessarily able to do in our home languages, or ways that we can say things in our home languages that we can't say in English, you know? So for me, in this whole music journey, I was just like, there's certain things that I'm saying, but they're not hitting emotionally, or they're not hitting with the true meaning. And that's when I was like, I need to start writing in Shona, adding other languages into the music as well.
And I love the fact that you love to add, because I'm also seeing that you're fusing genres, right? It's no longer just about the language, but it's also about fusing the genres so perfectly that it makes sense, and it's also melodic too to the listener's ear. Right?
100%.
Now, I just want us to talk a bit about that fusing. How does it sound and the creative process that goes into it?
Yeah, I mean, sounding, it ends up sounding fine, but in the creative process, it's always such a journey because you never know if some of these ideas are going to work together. You know, it sounds weird, it looks weird. You're fusing things that don't make sense. I mean, the song that I have with Too Short, it's like Master KG drums fused with Kanye West chords, you know, so it's like a whole different world of creativity, but I think that's what makes it beautiful, and that's where that fine line, just when you get it at the sweet spot, that's when you create something that's magical, and, you know, that's how we get to where we are now.
And I believe you're not yet done creating, you've not yet found the sweet spot, right? The main act in Africa that you wish to work with in the near future? Ooh, the list is long.
Yeah,
I can
the list
see.
is definitely long.
Yeah.
But right now, I do have I'm looking at Nigeria and I'm looking at Tiwa Savage because I think she's been in the game for so long and she's super underrated. And I think she's like the best lyrically, like when it comes to writing and melodies that we currently have in Africa. So I'd put Tiwa Savage at the top there.
And then the future of music in Africa, where would you rather say you wish you would see it? Let's say, for argument's sake, 10 years?
I think in 10 years, I want to see African music or African entertainment in general.
Yeah.
Just, we're always saying that we wanted to look international or whatever, but I'm starting to realize we give the world the direction. People are always copying us, they're always coming back to fix whatever we've come up with.
Yeah.
But instead of us getting our stuff fixed, let's just be in the pioneers. Let's just be those guys in the front of it, and then carry that. Let's have big concerts. Let's have more sold-out stadiums of our own artists, not only like when U2's coming into the country or anything like that,
No, that's beautiful. Welcome back, and you're still tuned in to Trendz Live here on SABC News. Now, with that performance, I promise you, it's only the piece of the cake. You can imagine how heated up it is in studio. Now, keep tuned, you won't regret it. Now, planning a going out look when it's cold is heartache-inducing, but just because it's freezing out there does not mean we have to collectively resign ourselves from giving up on style. Even during winter's darkest days, great style is still very possible. Now, let's take a look at examples of outfit to wear in the cold straight from our favorite fashion content creators, stylists and influencers.
Nobody is going to be staying at home this winter. We are all going out, right? Right? But I'm going to help you or assist you in how you should look in winter. I'm out and about at Momo Skirts for the Courvoisier's Joie de Vivre. We are celebrating life. Whether it's summer, autumn, winter or spring, it never stops. So, if you want to see how people party in winter nights, come join me. I'll show you. Is this how you dress whenever you're going out in winter nights?
Definitely a jacket. It will change vibes like coats, jackets. Definitely have to make sure that I match the whole outfit has to match color-wise and everything. But yeah, this is kind of like a normal winter fit for me. I'm probably going to be wearing a lot of black this winter.
Layer up. I think with winter, start thinking of your warmer fabrics, your trench coats, your thicker clothing, stockings always do the trick. Just layer up, I would say, as much as you can, it's possible. And it gets warmer as you're out. The outdoors start to get warmer, and a drink always helps.
Always have a staple coat. I believe a staple coat makes an outfit, especially in winter. So you can go for any basic colors, black, gray, nude, because they go with any type of clothing. And also a nice blazer. Blazer is very important during winter because you can pair blazer with a shirt, you play with the polo neck, you can place it with the tight top, so it really helps. And I believe you can go out during winter if you have all of those two staple pieces.
Hi
Thank you
there.
so much.
I absolutely concur.
Especially guys that deserve
Neutral
to be having tonight. We've got
colors,
some
dress for the weather,
brittle,
but
which is
still
made with
looking
some
good to
citrus and
impress,
some almonds.
on theme,
We've got a
on
vanilla
brand,
fudge.
and nice and
We've got a
toasty.
vanilla-
Sitting right next to me is Obakeng, who is the new brand ambassador of Courvoisier. Another thing that you should know about him is, by profession, he's a stylist, and the conversation today is all about style. Obakeng, welcome to Trendz.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
As a stylist, what do you do?
So basically, I am the guy that takes the clothes from the designers and puts them on people. And I feel like as a stylist, I know everything about like luxury, whether it's like luxurious jewelry, luxurious clothes, shoes, and I just felt like it makes so much sense. I started like as an assistant stylist for like a year. Then after that, I was able to style Somizi for Living the Dream with Somizi. And ever since then, it's been amazing.
As an African stylist, it's Africa Month. How do you stand out?
So I really believe in authenticity. I feel like if you're more yourself, you're able to show up as yourself and people will actually buy that because you are yourself. And I feel like you do yourself better than anyone else. So if you're more yourself and you're more African and you look back to what your roots are, I don't think you could go wrong with that. So I feel like if you stay true to yourself, that's the best advice I could give anyone, because I always say, if you look good, you feel good. If you feel good, you look good.
sometimes we do want to go out, but you're like, oh, when it's winter, you need to wear a lot of clothes, the color and all that. The combos just don't communicate. As a stylist, how should we look this winter when we're stepping out?
Can I tell you something, right? What you're currently wearing is what I was about to say. That looks great. So I believe in a woman in like a long trench coat with like a belted waist. So anything that's baggy, comfortable, but what you must make sure to do is like you must belt it. So I believe in silhouettes and like proportions. So like for instance, what you're wearing now, right? The trench coat is very big, but you decided to belt it. So that gives you like a silhouette of your body per se, right? But you're also comfortable, you're warm, and it's very like, it's doable. I think anyone can like achieve that.
And for guys?
For guys, those ones are very like hard to impress. But I think for guys, like a really nice leather jacket. A leather jacket goes a really long way. You could do it like formal, you could do it casual, you can throw like a turtleneck with the jacket on top and like jeans, or you could do it the formal way with the formal shirt and the same jacket actually.
Which colors should we play with?
I would say anything like along the nudes like you're wearing right now, or like your black and whites, or like anything that really just makes you comfortable. I'm a black and white guy. Like if I'm wearing black, I'm much more comfortable because I feel like black also like absorbs the light. So if there's like a bit of sunlight during winter, it sort of like absorbs the light and it makes you feel much more warmer. So anything with like blacks, your nudes and so on. Yeah.
Now, Onesimus is a talented singer, songwriter, and multi-instrumentalist from Malawi who is well known for his distinctive blend of soulful melodies, contemporary beats, and African rhythms. Now, he has emerged as one of Malawi's most well-known musicians in the recent years thanks to his distinctive sound and stage presence. Now, Allergic, his highly anticipated TikTok song, was released recently. Now, get ready to be mesmerized by the Malawian singer's soulful and upbeat music. Sir, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Listen, I was listening to you and I felt like this is the kind of beat and the move that we need, yeah?
It gets you going still.
No, definitely. Before we get into your music, I just want us to talk a bit about your style, right? Just what inspires your style and how do you go about it?
Well, I mean, fashion.
Yeah.
It's about fashion these days, keeping up with time, but it's also this love, the kind of stuff that I love to wear, you know, relaxed, easy and chilled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And speaking of keeping up with the times, your kind of music, the creative process that goes into it. I'm thinking you're in studio or you have a pen and a pad and you're writing. What inspires the sound and the music?
Well, you know, it's about real life events. Some has to do with people in the community, in the environment, and also life experiences. And, you know, I just come up with a song and it's like, okay, I'm going to put this out for people to relate and love the song. And yeah.
Okay, and then now that you're talking about the people, you're talking about the kind of sound that you're describing, right? Is there anyone, and I want you to have this wish list, right? Because they are watching, definitely. Is there anyone that you would wish to collaborate with in the future?
Quite a lot of artists. You know, there's just mainly that from Africa, from America. There's quite a lot of artists. I think my biggest, I love Sjava a lot. He's an amazing artist. And I love Chris Brown too. Yeah, I love him too. So these are the kind of guys that I love to work with because, you know, as I've made a landmark in Africa. I think last time I was with Sjava, it was in Nigeria. During the Afrima Awards. That's when I met him when he was on stage collecting his award. I was also getting mine. So I saw how humble he is. He's just a man about his business, and I love that character in him. So, yeah.
Definitely. Now, now that you're mentioning getting an award, I want us to go back to the beginning of time, right? What inspired the music and you standing on that stage, receiving that award? How did it feel for you?
You know, it's a dream that came true. Where I come from, dreams are very rare, but you're allowed to dream still. But to be on such stage with big stars like Sjava, like Techno, Diamond Platinums, Fireboy, and you know, it's just been a dream come true for me. And I was like, whoosh, here we are. Finally, we arrived. Obviously, a big shout out to my record label, Melodia Music, Motherland, and all my fans that make sure that my music is really heard worldwide.
So from that young, hopeful artist that was writing music to the man that you've become today, would you say that your music has evolved? Has there been a change of sound or change of writing?
Yeah, I mean, growth is part of the music industry. we can make music, but we are out to grow and to be able to make better music for the people, for the community. I would say my music has really evolved, has changed my writing skills, you know, through traveling around the continent, Africa, Europe. It really kind of helped me to actually see, glimpse into what other musicians are really doing and just merge that and keep it fresh from Africa still.
Definitely. So you being very well traveled, as you are mentioning, right? I want us to take it back now to the modern times, social media, TikTok, right? Me seeing you on TikTok, having that whole music going on, how has social media sort of influenced where you are today?
You know, we're in a digital world right now.
We are.
So a lot of things have changed, as you said, evolved, I would say. I had to jump on the digital platform because that's what's happening now, and always using the social media to push the music. It's also helping very much in a very bigger way and a bigger scale for our music. So I'd say, hey man, we have to do what to do to stay there.
Definitely. Is there a TikTok dance that you can show us?
You want me to show you?
Come, let's go with the beat.
Why don't you know?
You come with the TikTok dance and then we go along with it, right? You should think about that. Where do we get you on social media? How do we get to follow you? How do we get to love you? And how do we get also to support you?
You can follow me on Instagram, Onesimus Music with a Z and a K. Probably that's it from Twitter, it's the same. Facebook is the same. Only TikTok is different. It's Onesimus Music 1. So it's at Onesimus Music 1. You find me and we get to interact.
And we get to dance along, right? To that young hopeful sitting and watching the show and wanting to be like you one day, sharing stages with Java, getting awards and being traveling internationally, what advice do you have for that young kid?
You know, hard work, patience.
Yes.
You need to align your ambitions with your vision.
Yes.
It's very much important. The amount of people that surround you, to be able to take in advice, criticism, constructive criticism, even though whatever criticism it is, but still you have to be able to keep yourself together and everything else will fall into its place because everything happens with time.
Definitely. Now, with that performance, you can imagine how heated up it is in studio. We had to go for a break because I had just to touch up. That's how hot it is. Now, Muhammad Dali is a leather craftsman who waited a long time to realize his dream of creating beautiful leather products. That is anything from belts, hats, you name it. Now, he finds joy in living his passion, crafting anything and everything that his clients require. Our producer, Kiadimilwe Malusi, caught up with this jolly old man to find out what's up with the leather.
He makes leather dreams come true. After working in different markets for years, he's now found a home which he says has been nothing but a pleasure, waking up to his passion.
I'm a very creative guy, and that I have to admit. I dream leather, I eat leather, I sleep leather. This is a biker boot. So the bikers lift up their stand handle, their gears with their boot. So they want me to fit a piece of leather on there so it stops the damage. So this is just one project. I've done lots of this before, and it's just got to get it right.
So basically you make belts, hats and what?
And everything else.
Everything that has to do with leather.
That has to do with leather. I don't work with shoes, although I do that for the bikers. And I don't do wallets and that sort of, I got a guy who's down the road who does that. So this is an embossed belt.
Okay.
So this is a pattern that I put on. So we color it black or brown, it all depends, and sometimes they prefer to have it that color. We call it a blondie.
Okay.
You see, there's a different design, the colors is.
Are you the one who's...
Yes, I create this, but I create that, I sort of source out.
Okay.
But I go there and I make this myself.
Oh.
It's just a machine that rolls it and you pull it through. That is what we do in that. Everything else, like, you know, these cowboy ties, I create these things myself.
Oh, so there's the tie.
Yeah, that's what they do.
Okay.
So I go buy my own leather.
Okay.
So this is basically a full hide, a leather hide.
Okay.
See? So what I do, I cut my own straps.
Okay.
I cut my own straps according to the size of the orders that I have.
All right.
Then After cutting the straps, which would now basically look like
Something
this.
like this, yes.
At the back of it.
Without the curtain.
Without, yes. So that's what I do. And then we start washing the leather, and then we'll start dyeing the leather, and then cleaning it up, and then we put it on the line, and then clients tell us what colors they want.
Okay.
So we dye it and color.
Alright. Okay, how long have you been doing this for?
This was a hobby of mine. I used to do this way when I was very young. I used to sit on the beachfront, make sandals, belts, things like that, amulets, things like that. So let's move over here.
Okay.
So this is now something new, which looks very big and all that.
Yes,
but this
it
is
does
gonna
look very big.
Okay. This is gonna be for a mirror.
A mirror.
Yeah, it's a mirror belt.
Okay.
So they put a mirror in there, then it hangs up here. So I don't know, I only create what they want.
Okay.
So they still coming to collect them. There's 2 of them. If you dream it and make it.
Now, as you can see, my afro hair is quite ready for this. You won't see it, it's the camera, it's not me. Now, the recent years have seen more Africans embrace their afro-textured hair. Show producer Asanda Zondi visited the founder of Ethnic Hair and Beauty Products to talk about all things natural hair. You can see it there. Afro Hair Journey, how her brand is taking Africa by storm, how to take care of ethnic hair, and how to continue embracing it. Now, this is a reminder to all you kings and queens that your natural crown is a beauty at its best.
Now more than ever, Africans are embracing their natural hair. Whether it's spiral curls or kinky coils to dreadlocks, we are wearing our hair in ways that just a decade ago would not have been considered beautiful. And so, we decided to visit entrepreneur Sonto Powe, who reveals how she founded Native Child, a hair cosmetics company taking Africa and the world by storm. Tell me about your Afro journey. When did it begin?
You know, I've always been in love with my own hair. I've always had a struggle with my own hair. And so once I kind of figured out my own hair, I started making extra income on my weekends and doing other people's hair. So it really began as a child. I think I was around the age of 8.
How does our hair identify us as Africans?
For me, our hair really is our identity. The two are intertwined. I already know that I'm ethnic just because of my hair.
So Sonto, now speaking of your products and you starting your own products, hair products, right? Ever since most people started embracing their hair, we are seeing a lot of a booming and a high number of entrepreneurs coming out.
Yes.
They're creating all these products that are catered for natural hair. How do you stand out?
We've been in the business and been in the market for a long time. Yes, I think in the last year or so, you're seeing a lot of other businesses following suit. When we started, not even the big brands were catering for natural hair. So it was still a lot of education and trying to encourage people to embrace their hair. Way before the curve, way before it became, oh wow, I saw so and so with their hair, love it, let me also try. So I feel like we are ahead of the curve, and that in and of its own has made us, you know, we are far ahead. We're already years ahead than other businesses that are sort of starting now. And of course, we've got a product that works ultimately. And the way you see that is by the growth that we are receiving.
And your product is everywhere around Africa. I know it's in Zimbabwe, your Ghana, your Nigeria, and now you're in the UK, America. How did you do that?
US.
Oh, the US, sorry.
Yes. Growth, it's all part of growth. It's been part of the bigger dream to be present everywhere. You know, you find that people will move from South Africa to wherever, to China, to Australia, to the US, to wherever, to Europe. And they do order products, and shipping is one of the hurdles. You know, it's very expensive. So then the logic behind expanding beyond our borders is to make the product available where our customers are.
I must tell you, I feel so guilty, and this is such an irony that I'm talking about in natural hair and embracing it, yet I have a full wig on. And we do, like, underneath there's a fro, trust that. But it's not that we do not embrace it. One, we were told that our wigs, nama braids, they are protective hairstyles to protect our natural hair. Number two, we have a hairline issue. It's a very big problem amongst like black women, like or black African women. How do you take care of natural hair?
I think it first starts with the attitude. We see people go natural, and then they go back to relaxer, and then they see, oh, I don't like my hair's texture, my hair looks thin, and then they come back. And so I think ultimately it's a personal choice. We're just saying, even underneath that wig or weave, just make sure that you're taking care of your own hair.
What more can we do to embrace it and to continue showing the rest of the world, Tuguti, actually, this is who we are, this is part of who we are as Africans?
I would say start young. And as a mother, your child must also see you in your natural state. Not always covered in wigs, you know. Let them see, if my mother's not comfortable, how am I going to be comfortable? So, and really, we're the only people who embrace other people's hair, but not necessarily our own. Angaze ngibona umlungu ogqoka iwig ye-afro. I've never.
No lie.
Angimboni. So it needs to be, it has to start with us.
So you heard it, kings and queens. Please wear your crown confidently, going forward proudly. Ungasabi.
And I think we can all agree, these are one of the segments that shows the beauty of Africa. She went from inches to natural hair. Now stay tuned as we're going to go for a quick break. Meanwhile, don't forget to interact with us on Twitter using @Trendz on SABC. We love hearing from you. We'll be right back. Stay tuned. Now, have you experienced laughter that makes you appreciate the value of life? Well, the theater is one creative place to temporarily forget about your worries. Listen, I'm talking about debit orders, dikoloto, credit score. We must just relax for a bit. Now, comedy drama The Dr. Hocus Pocus show is set to have the audience in stitches as it addresses regaining your laughter. Something we need to do because adulting, hey, it's very traumatizing, hey? Now, Trendz Love producer Didintle Mokeleti couldn't resist finding out what this quest for laughter entails on stage at the South African State Theatre in Pretoria.
How can anyone be happy without laughing? After all, laughter is known as the best medicine. That's why Trendz caught up with Dr. Hocus Pocus, a comedy drama currently showing at the South African State Theatre in Pretoria. Let's go and check it out for more laughs.
Your Majesty, please, welcome to the Dr. Hocus Pocus show.
The comedy drama comes alive with Dr. Hocus Pocus as a psychologist and talk show host. You see, the king, his health and his marriage are in danger. And the problem, nothing has brought him laughter in a long time.
King Panda is a president. Ne? He's a president that they agreed that their presidency is no longer suited for them. They want to be royalty now. He has gotten to a point where he has lost his sense of humor. He has lost his sense of being a social person. People receive or mimic what they see from their leaders. So if he's not laughing, they are not laughing. If he's angry, they are angry. So his anger also spreads nascently. The marriage is no longer functioning well, or the marriage is the same. There's no longer happiness because the king is tired and unable to laugh.
Why do you think the inability to laugh is so prevalent in many families these days?
We've got so much that is happening, even here in the country. After COVID, people lost their job. people are facing, gender-based violence. They lost their loved ones during COVID. So you can't laugh anymore. There's nothing that works for you. The unemployment rate, you've got so many things that are happening around. So you see people don't want to laugh. People are angry. People want to protest. People want to, everyone wants a way to find a way of living. Anything that can make you survive, you want to do it. So you can't be happy if the situation is like this.
But what have I done? Can't you see what you've done? I did not do that to the king. If entered on his own, you must have said something that is funny. I did not.
And so the hilarious therapy session unfolds in efforts to cure and restore the royal couple's laughter.
I think it's quite important to have theatre productions within the narrative of comedy because people are looking for ways of de-stressing. We need moments to come and forget about the world, forget about what we did at work, at our 9 to 5s, forget about what's happening at home, and come to an environment that allows us to, or transports us rather, to a different realm. So I think it's an escape because it allows you to view the sensitive topics, to view what's happening around us in a safe environment where you're at peace and you're able to fully understand, like, wait a minute, this is what's happening in the real world. And in as much as we're laughing, we're uncomfortable in our laughter, we are also like, ish, okay, that's real. Like, I shouldn't be laughing, but,
Wake up! Wake up!
Written by author and playwright Christopher Mlalazi, the stage play is punchy with social commentary. Dr. Hocus Pocus also interrogates the challenges of political leadership. How do you think the character of the king reflects what's happening around the continent?
The king, with him refusing to leave the throne, actually shows us that people are drunk on power. People want to stay in power forever. So in a way, it shows the mentality that the society it's not right.
I feel people within the higher hierarchy of our social lives, social worlds, have issues. We usually view the royals, people who are in power, as the untouchables, people that have everything set out. But they're humans too, and they have struggles. They have issues that they want to deal with, but they cannot deal with them as openly as we normal people would want to deal with these issues.
How do you think this comedy play then remedies the situation of not being able to laugh?
It's a different theatre style altogether. So I believe for you to spend that 60 minutes, it makes you to forget about what is happening around. I think we should do more of comedy.
Mission accomplished. After much retrospection, the royal couple finally finds laughter again. And for the audience, it's an awakening that indeed, laughter is the healing of much negativity. Don't miss the show for your dose of laughter.
Now we have all done it for you this hour. We went from going from live performances to learning about the best whiskey blends and also being schooled about fashion. As my senior producer says, don't just call it brown, it's called nude. That's how much we are schooled. Now it's time for us to dash out of here. Catch us again next week Friday at 8 p.m. on SABC News Channel 404 as Nkosazana and Dabuza will be taking over. But until then, you can always engage with us on the social media platforms using our handle at Trendz on SABC. From me, Tisetso Masike, and the Trendz live team, goodbye and God bless. Araratadeng, Ritlokomele, Mudimukyo.